First of all, welcome to the channel, Life of a Video Producer. I am CJ Williams, and in this video, I want to talk about 3 things you need to tell yourself to justify within yourself why you need to raise your prices. And I'm not just talking about raising your prices, we're talking about doubling your prices for your services. 3 things. All right, let's get into it. I'm CJ Williams, and this is the Life of a Video Producer. All right, so it comes a point in time in anybody's business where they look at what they're doing and realize that they're not making enough, they're not charging enough, and that they could be getting more out of their business. The whole reason why we go into business in the first place is because we want more freedom, and money gives you freedom. You can't have freedom when you're also constantly having to work. And again, who goes into business to work? Like, if you're not making money, you can't hire people, you can't put other people on, and then you're having to constantly work within your, essentially you're just giving yourself a job. You've created a job for yourself, and we gotta start thinking beyond that. So that's the whole reason behind wanting to or needing to raise your prices. Now, to raise your prices, you don't have to justify your prices with any customer. It's not necessary, but there are some things you need to tell yourself to give you the confidence you need to raise your prices and be confident in your pricing. So I want to go over 3 things. And the last thing that I mentioned here is going to be the most important. And it's going to, you want to stick around for the last one. All right, trust me, it's going to be the one. All right, so let's start with number 1. And a lot of this I'm speaking from myself, and when it comes to video production, videography, but this can apply to other service industries as well. So number 1 is, I've niched down. You've niched down. You specialize in something, and it takes a lot of courage to niche down because, a lot of people feel like when they niche down, they're missing out on other opportunities. But niching down has its benefits, right? You get to your marketing. You get to focus your marketing. You get to, focus your clientele, all that stuff. You get to charge more. You should be able to charge more because you specialize. But in niching down, if you have a portfolio of work you've done in a particular niche, or whatever, if you have a portfolio of, a few jobs, 10 or so projects you've done in a particular niche, like it's time. It's time. You have shown and proven that you can do the work. You can deliver quality. For me, myself, I niched down to video podcast production, which is something not everybody can pull off. I'm completely mobile. I load up my van and I go visit the client wherever they are, whatever location, their office or whatever, Airbnb or Peer Space they find or whatever. We load up and we go there and we set up full mics, lights, cameras, all that stuff. So completely mobile. Not many people can do that. We've niched down to where we got a process about it from beginning to end, pre-production, production, and post-production, making it a hands-off experience for our clients where we uploading content, uploading the video to YouTube, creating social media content for them, and making sure they're properly set up on these channels, YouTube, podcast hosting, all that stuff. So it's a hands-off experience. That's a lot. It's a lot of work, to make it so all they have to do is show up, niche down, got a portfolio of clientele of projects. That's enough right there. Like that right there should tell you, hey, I can do that, and it should tell anybody who visits your website that they can do this. They are the ones. They've proven that they have the expertise, the knowledge, the equipment necessary, everything necessary to pull off this project. So that right there is a good reason, something you should tell yourself that, hey, it's time for me to raise my price. And we're not just talking about raising the price. We're talking about doubling the price. Well, it depends on where you are. But for me, in my case, doubling. And it'll make more sense when we get to the next 2. Speaking of which, let's get to number 2. This is bringing on help to help complete these jobs and make it a better experience for the client, the customer. So for me, with this video thing, my first year into us doing this full time, I was able to bring on other shooters to help pull off these projects. Sometimes we'd be outdoors doing stuff, and some of the stuff I couldn't have done by myself. Covering an event, live streaming, photos, all this stuff going on at the event. I couldn't have done it by myself. Being able to bring on people to help make this a better experience, to pull off the job, just to make it happen. You got to pay these people, right? So in paying them, that shouldn't come out of your pocket. No business expense, all business expenses are paid for by the customer in some way. Anytime a business incurs any type of expenses, they got to pass it on to the customer. That's just how it works. Businesses are meant to make money in every way possible. Anything that costs me money, overhead, whatever, gas, all that stuff, travel expenses, it's passed on to the customer. So when you got to bring on people and you're doing it and you plan on doing it at pretty much every job. So I've gotten to the point where it's like, I don't care how small this production is, how small this shoot is, I'm taking somebody with me. It's a lot of work to do this. And there's just little things here and there that add up to be something big. Little things that, so I learned this when I had a chance to take my wife on a shoot with me to do my video podcast booth. And she doesn't know anything about this. This is her first time coming with me. And just being able to tell her, hey, plug these into that, this into that, put this here, tape that down, move those cords out the way, was so helpful to me, because it allowed me to focus on other things, bigger things, framing, setting up the cameras, getting the framing right, getting all the settings in the camera right, you know what I'm saying? And just looking at it from a big picture, as opposed to me having to do everything. Because a lot of that stuff wouldn't have been done if it was just me. Like, them cables would have just been laying there, tucked away, and not taped up, looking nice and neat and professional. The other thing is just having somebody there to allow me to communicate with the client and work with the client more. So I don't have to worry about all this. Let me focus on the client and make sure they got their stuff together. This helped me so much. And so from that day, I said, you know what? I'm not going to do this by myself. I don't care how small it looks, how, I still got to have some help. So that's what I said. You know what? I got to take somebody with me. And it's not, I got to have a primary person that I'll take, then I have a backup person. Between the 2 or 3 of these people, I'm going to have somebody with me on every shoot. So having somebody on your team and adding a person to your team to help you deliver the product is a reason to raise your prices. And not just raise them, but double them. All right. And another thing with that is, looking like a team and looking professional. When I take somebody with me, they're going to be wearing my shirt with my logo. We're going to be arriving at the same time. We're going to be on the same page. The client is going to know who's doing what. Like, we look professional. We dress alike. So that's value. And the client, assuring the client that they're dealing with a business and not just somebody who is doing this as a hobby. So another reason to raise the price. So we're about to get into the third reason. I want you right now, if you haven't, be sure to subscribe to the channel Life of a Video Producer, because it is my goal to bring the content that helps others who are experiencing, or maybe something I've experienced already, and I'm gonna kind of make it so you ain't got to go through that. Help you out, help you through that. So I look at this like, man, if I'd seen this video, would this video help me 3 years ago? Yes, it would have. Allowed me to skip some of this stuff. Sorry. All right, so let's get into the third reason, and this is the big one. You want to pay attention to this. Get your notepad out. Write it down. Here it goes. Taxes. Taxes. My first year full-time videography, I made like 60 grand, which is okay. I want the next year I made 60 grand that year, and I had goals the next year of making 100 grand. But in me making that 60 grand, I spent half of it on equipment. I invested money back into the business. Equipment. A lot of which I still use. It was an investment, right? I don't have to buy equipment for a while. Like, I'm good. It's good quality equipment. So that left another 30 grand that I didn't pay taxes on. I wasn't educated in that to know that I still need to pay. I thought I was good by investing back in the business, but no, still got to pay taxes on that other, what you didn't spend, invest back into the business. So I owed Uncle Sam a nice chunk of change, 6 grand, which I'm still trying to recover from. And it's hard to pay taxes if you're just making enough to get by. Like, you make enough to pay your bills and go out every now and then, go on vacation, but it's not enough to you still got to pay taxes on that. You think when you have a job, they doing that for you. You're a W-2 employee. They're taking out the taxes. You ain't got to worry about that. When you're self-employed, you have to set aside money for taxes. Some people say pay quarterly. I can't tell you how to do that, how you should do it, yearly, quarterly, whatever. But you got to set aside some money for taxes. Think about, and good number to keep in your head is 40%. Take the last job you did, the revenue you made from that. Let's say you did an $800 job. 40% of that is like $320, I think. Take that from that 800. That leaves you with less than $500. Can you make it with that? You feel comfortable doing the work for that amount of money? Because that's essentially what you have, what you made from it. Uncle Sam gonna get theirs regardless. So you gotta understand, whatever job you get, take 40% off that. That's what you're left with. That's yours. Can you survive off that? One of the biggest lessons I learned, and again, I'm still trying to recover from this, is charging enough to pay your taxes and live. If that right there alone should be enough for you to say, okay, maybe I need to raise my prices, because I can't cover my living expenses and have enough to pay Uncle Sam. So to me, like, had I known this, things would be so much different. I had to go back to work full time to make up for this, and I still ain't out of that. Like, I'm still trying to get out of that. I probably need to have a year where I show no money being made, or show a loss or something, just to kind of offset that. I don't know. I'm not a tax expert. I let my tax person handle that, but it hurt me because I didn't know. Not only I didn't know, but I still didn't have the money to pay for it because I wasn't charging enough. So take all of these in consideration. The fact that you have a great portfolio. You've niched down, you have a great portfolio that shows that and demonstrates that you can do the work. You're an expert, you have the processes down. It's quality. In my case, quality video, quality audio. You take that, take the fact that you're going to have to bring someone with you, and the customer is going to have to pay for that person. So not only are they, the way they got to look at it is they're getting a professional experience. More people taking care of their stuff. They're getting more eyes on their work. They're getting more eyes to see stuff. You can get better shots, better lighting, all this stuff, right? It's just going to be a better experience. They're going to get a better product. So that's how it should look to them. But they're going to have to pay for it. You pass on those costs to them. And then lastly, it's the taxes. The taxes. The big number to think about. And I'm not a tax expert. I don't know what state you live in and all this stuff, what you got going on. But think about 40%. Take 40% off that last proposal you sent. And is that enough to cover your costs? How many more jobs do you have to do to make up? So those right there, 3 reasons, right? Well, I'm telling myself, double the price. Stand on it. Be firm in it. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. But we're not going to be out here struggling, trying to prove ourselves when we've already demonstrated it, right? We're bringing people on to help make sure this happens. And we all got to pay taxes. Even your client, they're paying taxes too. So, and they getting to write this off in some way. So think about that. If they're a real business, they're probably writing off your services as whatever. So there you go. I hope that helps. Double your prices. Stop being out here trying to prove yourself. Bring some help with you and pay your taxes. I'm CJ Williams. This is Life of a Video Producer. I'll see you next time.